Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties of motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're going to talk about your chakra systems, the 7 chakras, and how all your chakras is already automatically lit, and don't never let nobody tell you it ain't. Now look, this is the whole thing right now, because we got the internet and we got a whole bunch of things, and we know when you start seeing information and stuff like that on the internet, and when it started to begin, that's when you know the age of Aquarius started to begin, because you're going to start to receive information through technology and electronics. So the moment we started receiving information from electronics and technology was the moment that was letting you know that we're stepping into the age of Aquarius. Because remind you, before in the age of Pisces, we was taking information from books, infrastructure, monuments, statues, certain geographical location. So this was where we was getting information from, and we was getting it through a mutable water type of way. So it's through the emotions and the feelings. So a lot of times that's not rational, that's not logical, that's just belief, that's faith, that's expression. You know what I'm saying? That's a feeling, that's intuition, that's psyche. So a lot of the information that people was receiving in the age of Pisces was in that form of belief, faith, emotions, feelings. Now we're stepping into a left brain energy where now we want to be more logical with our information. You know what I'm saying? We want to be more analytical with our information. You know what I'm saying? And we want to receive more information on top of that, because air represents information. Water represented a feeling. Anything that made you feel good in the age of Pisces, you can tie it to something, a higher reason or something like that. Right now, it's not about a feeling, what makes you feel good. It's about what makes sense now. So, you know, for the most part, us being in the age of Aquarius right now, all this information everybody gonna be getting, it's going to be like downloads. It's going to be like, you know what I'm saying, through technology and information. I mean, electronics and shit of that nature. But when we want to talk about the chakra system, right now, since this is the form of communication, Archangel Uriel going to let y'all know why your chakra system and all 7 chakras are already activated. And the purpose of a lot of other beings and greys and reptilians, and I'm tired of even naming them, it's a lot of other ones, but let's just say beings for the sake of this video, so we don't get into something else like y'all know how I get into. Like, the whole purpose, a lot of these beings that come and utilize certain information that they know you about to be awoken about. So they know that they closed you off from that based upon giving you feelings and emotions in the age of Pisces. Now it's in the age of Aquarius. They know how they have to dilute you now. Like they was aware of this time a lot more. They are more aware of this time than you are, because this is what they're on. You know what I'm saying? People who run the world and things of that nature. So when you want to talk about being in the age of Aquarius, they know how they have to dilute you now. So they know they have to come to you with logic, rationality now, and information and technology. And the better they know how to utilize that to divert your chakra systems, the better they can still use you as a battery. The same way how they used you as a battery when they utilized your emotions and feelings when it came into the age of Pisces. So right now they finna do it in the form of in the age of Aquarius form. Now when it comes to the chakras, now reason why I keep saying you already have activated, your chakras are already activated, is because, check this out. When you if you watching any video that's explaining to you about how your chakras may be not lit, or certain chakras may be closed off, then they're part of the problem. And if you've been going under their teachings for like 10 years or 20 years, then see, they was used as a vessel based upon the information or the knowledge level that they knew, and that this being knew that they knew, and utilize that information knowing that it was going to be believable to come across a certain demographic amount of people. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily, by them telling you that a chakra is closed off or not lit or something like that, they're trying to divert you and make you utilize that chakra's energy which is like a battery. They want you to utilize that gland for their purposes within their programs. So whatever kind of thing that they got you doing in order to make you feel like that chakra is lit, you're actually giving them, they're the actual intellectual boss of that property, of that energy. They run that energy because they created it. And the more and more you give them your energy, which is your power, whatever energy you're exerting from whatever gland, aka chakra wheel, and whatever realm of reality you give it to, whoever own that realm of reality, that's the energy you're feeding. You're not feeding yourself, or you're not feeding a higher purpose or anything like that, or God or anything like that. You're feeding the person who told you to light your chakra like that. When if you realize and you was aware of thyself, you understand that your chakra must be already lit for you to already use it. How you going to use something that's not lit? So they're going to tell you, give you a procedure to do something, to make something that's not lit. Do that make any sense? So basically, you're going to use that chakra thinking that you're using their system to light that chakra. You're going to use your already lit chakra. You're going to use the energy from that chakra to provide the energy of whoever told you what you're supposed to do to get that chakra lit. So you see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. That's not how energy works. That's why I'm letting you know your chakras is already lit. Here's the problem. Here's the issue. The issue is the things that these intellectual beings put you into, the programs that they put you into, is what was actually calcifying your chakra. So for an example, say your heart chakra, right? Boom, your heart chakra. So say that's gonna evolve a lot of feelings, right? So instead of you having emotions and feelings about things that's more true to you and more aligned to you, you got intellectual beings out here creating fears of realities and programs to make you care, feel, gain some type of emotional stance on what they want you to feel, right? So now you're running around here watching videos like, how can I get my heart chakra open, or how can I lighten my heart chakra, right? And then they give you all kind of tags and procedures to the point that you're giving time and experience to a procedure, ritual, in order to make you feel like your heart chakra is lit. And whatever you paid attention to, the energy you received from that, make you feel like that's what you needed in order for you to light your heart chakra. So you end up paying attention to that more than you need to. So you start to give your attention to things that you don't necessarily need to give your attention to the point that that external thing becomes a crutch, to the point that you always need that thing to get back that feeling of whatever you was chasing. So if that thing was a representation of lightening up your heart chakra, then now you're going to find yourself always needing that thing again to lighten up your heart chakra. Now it becomes a routine every day, to the point that you never actually learn how to light it up yourself. You feel like you always need to learn more about it, or go to the same person that helped you feel like you lit it up, when really all this time you're giving your heart chakra energy to these things in replace to fill your heart chakra. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't even make sense ultimately. That's why I'm here to let you know it's already lit, and whatever program you dive into, that's what's calcifying it, or that's where you giving that chakra. That's where you're giving that chakra energy to, and whatever you work on all day, is going to get tired. If it's going to be a manifestation, representation of a gland and a muscle, we know muscles, when it work, they get tired, they get wore out. So the more and more you give your energy, the more and more it get tired. So the more and more, yeah, you may wake up day to day, every day, with motherfucking chakras not lit, because of the fucking life you've been living from when you've been born, then growing up from day to day, experiencing life, jumping through programs and portals and realms of reality that your parents and society put you in. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, if you got a job, you're gonna get up, you're gonna be tired, right? So if it's on your gut chakra, right, which you don't feel like going to feel, that's in the gut, not feel like emotions and care like the heart chakra, but the gut chakra is more like feel, the nerves, willpower, you know what I'm saying, the assertiveness power, you know what I'm saying, right there. If that's always getting worked out and have no time for a break, then of course on your days off you're going to be wore out, you know what I'm saying. That goes for everything. When you eat too much, if you eat too much, if your food keep breaking down so much, you never give your digestive system a time to fully take a break and rest and relax his muscles, then that can affect on your gut chakra, to the point that it'll start affecting, and depending on what you eat, it'll start affecting your solar plexus, not your root chakra, but the one right beneath your gut one. I forgot what they call it, but that one right there, that controls a gut feeling also, like your psyche, your intuition. Like, you know what I'm saying, when you have like the bubble guts, not the bubble guts like you got a shit, but the bubble guts like you get nervous and something's not sensing right around you. That's the chakra right after the root chakra, because the root chakra is considered the survival chakra, because the survival chakra is more like survival. So it's like you are always initially there even when you're born. So that's like a kid. When a kid sees something that intrigues it, it goes to it, regardless if the kid or the baby know the information of that thing that it's going towards is good for it, is not good for it or not. It's going to go towards that thing because it's intrigued by it. So that's like the root chakra. The root chakra plays with your pleasures, things like that. That's like drugs or anything. It could be, a drug could not be good for you, but you keep taking it because it intrigues you or it satisfies you in some type of way. That's the root chakra right there. So, sex goes in the root chakra and things of that nature. So when you're out stepping in the world and you got realms of reality that tell you that marriage or something like that is supposed to be sufficient, then that's calcifying your root chakra. You know what I'm saying? When you are attracted to multiple people, that's not for no reason. That's not something you're supposed to fight. Now, I'm not saying that's something you're supposed to do either. What I'm saying is that's not a feeling you're supposed to suppress. Like, say I go out in the world and then, like, say I'm married, right? So marriage is a program. That's another video. But for the sake of this video, let's just talk about it. Say I'm married and y'all see marriage the way regular world see marriage, right? And then I go out and then I see all these different women and I get attracted, right? And say I'm fighting this feeling inside me like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way because I'm married. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. And for you too, females, that's you're not supposed to feel like that. These feelings are for a reason. Now, they're not for you to actually follow through with, but they're not actually for you to neglect either. These are just feelings you are supposed to experience because they are connected to who you are. They're connected to your true nature. And if you want to say it's just feelings that you just catching and you're supposed to fight them because you're into programs and marriage programs and religious programs and stuff like that, Archangel Uriel finna prove to you right now why it's part of your true nature. Now check this out. Now, when say you married, right? And you go out and like and you see somebody you might be attracted to and you fight that feeling, right? And you like, I'm not supposed to feel like that, whatever like that, right? Okay, now that's perfectly fine, right? Now, you could say that that's just a feeling I caught or whatever, right? But reason why I say it's true to your nature, because it could be you could be standing right next to a person who's actually married too, and they could be looking at the same person you looking at and could not be attracted. They could be ugly. That person could be ugly to that person. So while you married and you next to another person that's married, you are attracted to the person y'all looking at, and the person you next to that's married may look at that same person as ugly. So it's not in that person's nature to be attracted to whatever energy that person was carrying, or whatever energy that person have that they're looking at, and it was in the person's nature who was married to be attracted to the person that they was looking at. You know what I'm saying? So you got two people who married, one who not attracted to the person they looking at, and one is attracted to the person they looking at. right? And I'm talking about two people that's married if they're friends. If it's two guys and they both have wives at home, or if it's two women and they both have husbands at home, and say they went out and they're both looking at say it's two girls and they both looking at this guy, and one married girl is attracted to him, the other married girl isn't. So it was in her nature, some planetary alignment, something about her nature was attracted to that guy's nature, and something about her friend that's married wasn't attracted to that guy's nature. So when you want to, so let's skip aside the fact that they're both married and they're both supposed to fight the feeling of not being attracted to somebody else anyway. Just the simple fact that one is attracted and one is ain't, let you know that that's a separation and a differentiation right there between two people having separate natures. So when you go out and you are married and you're attracted to a lot of people, and or you may just glance at people and then feel like you're not supposed to be that way. No, you are supposed to be that way because it's part of your nature. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying follow through with these things. What I'm saying is to stay in line with yourself when you do experience certain situations. Learn certain informations to know what to do and what not to do, to know who to deal with and know who not to deal with. And that's what life is about, all about experiencing. So when you learn about experiencing, life will start to change. It won't be like a situation of cheating and a person needing to be in this type of way. Like the realm of reality, like, see, y'all can't really, I don't think y'all really understand me. It won't be a situation like just a man feel like he could go fuck anything in the world and a woman feel like she can go fuck anything in the world. No, the more and more this process I'm talking about take place, the more and more people who are truly supposed to be together will actually end up attracting together. So once you get two people who actually supposed to attract together, 9 times out of 10, they're truly not going to be attracted to anyone else anyway. It won't be a feeling there to have to fight. You see what I'm saying? When more and more the world get aligned, it'll start aligning in ways that'll start making sense that may not make sense now because of all the programs that we under and trying to break. That's for an example. That's like telling everybody to get up and quit your job. If you tell everybody right now, due to all the programs and the realities we in and fears the realities of intellectual properties that run it, if you just come up and tell everybody to quit their job now, it's going to sound ludicrous. It's not going to make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, if that process was to start to take place and everybody was to start to do that, the way the universe and the way life will start to shape, situations will start to shape where things will start to seem like it does make sense. But you can't see it in that way yet without actually experiencing, going through those actual time frames of actual when everybody do get up and start quitting. For an example, you ever had a job, or it could be any situation. You ever went to school, you ever did something, right? And like your whole life was situated the way it was, right? Then something happened, like maybe your car broke down, like something suddenly happened that you was going to start looking at it like, dang, what I'm going to do now? Because without this car or without such and such, I ain't going to be able to do this, or I ain't going to be able to do that. And then when you go through these situations, and then when something has happened that was out of your control, like something like your car broke down, something that was out of your control, right? And when something happened like that, now remind you, look at every time in your life in these situations, like when days and days go on, didn't something like change within the universe to the point that this shit fell in place for some reason? Like you may have had a doctor appointment, but for some reason, your car broke down and like a week ago. So when your car broke down, you live in the day that your car broke down, and you like, damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And you got like a doctor appointment like 2 weeks from now. Now 2 weeks later from your car breaking down, don't it be a situation that you still get to that doctor, or like this something happens that everything still be cool and it makes sense, and then like your life still end up being you know what I'm saying? That's like, let me give you an example. Let me give you a personal example. Like, all right, like with me, I'm taking my daughter to school in the morning, to school every morning, right? Now, and the school she was going to, was like way down the street. Well, way like almost close to another side of town where I'm living at. Now, I just put this in ahead of time to place her in a school You know what I'm saying? A little closer. But remind you, I forgot I even did this. Now, this school is right around the corner, right? Now, I did this a year and a half ago, right? Now, the whole rest of the first year of school go, right? Everything's cool, right? Ain't even planning on taking her to the school right around the corner, because remind you, I forgot I even did it. It was like a month and a half ago. Ain't even thinking about it. It's like a private school. She still, and then after that, wasn't even still thinking, oh, she gonna go there. I'm still thinking, okay, she's just gonna keep going to this public school, whatever, like that. Boom, car broke down, right? So now the car broke down getting in the summertime, right? So after this time, a couple weeks later, school gonna get ready to start again, right? So it's not even thought of her going to this next to school right around the corner, right? So now I'm scrambling, like, okay, I gotta hurry up and get a car, right? Because I don't know how she gonna get back and forth from school. So that's at the time that the car did fuck up. So as days go on, eventually, boom, boom, letter came in, boom, she got accepted to the school around the corner, boom, school was probably like 3 weeks later, boom, you know what I'm saying, everything got situated to the point that that's way closer, so if need be, I could walk her to school, you know what I'm saying, because that's how close to school. So it's like situations always gonna turn out in some way to make sense what I'm trying to say. So for your mind, like for an example, y'all know I like to bring the 3 sequence here. So let's say you have a solid, your conscious, you have a soul, subconscious, and you have a unconscious, your spirit. Now, your spirit is your higher self. So it's always going to see the whole perspective. It's that one-eye being of who you are. It's the idea of you, right? So it's always going to see the surroundings. It's always going to see the whole circumstances where you can't see when you're down here. So down here, you're your physical and your soul. So you're your conscious and your subconscious. So what you consciously aware of is what you consciously can see, and what you're subconsciously aware of is what you can't see, just what you can feel. So what you consciously can see is in front of you. Say it's a street, right? And say it's like a whole bunch of shit in the middle of the street, but you need to get across the street, but it's just all a bunch of obstacles and fast, and cars coming down the street real fast, and all kind of other obstacles. It's looking hard for you to cross the street, right? Now, and then the way you feel about it, you feel like you can't cross the street, because you experiencing all these surroundings around you of how can you react to these things. It's impossible to react to these things accordingly to getting across the street. So now you feel incapable of getting across the street. But you got something telling you that all you have to do is walk straight. Just walk straight and don't pay attention to nothing. Now, that's your higher self. Now, it's important to listen to your higher self. And a lot of times your higher self comes in the form of your first thought. Your first thought. When you start to dilute it, that's when you start to add the programs you in. Start to add realms of reality you in. Start to add information that you have learned in your life. Start to add experiences into that first thought. And then it don't become a first thought anymore. It becomes a first thought to the second thought. And remember, life is on seconds. Life came second. You know what I'm saying? You got the frequency, vibration, then energy. So if the frequency was first, which was the idea, then what came second was the soul, the vibration, the experience of life. You see what I'm saying? So the fluid, the water, the time, the fluid, time,